MedCram.com.
Welcome to another MedCram lecture. So this is Hippocrates, and going back to his time, they were using urine to try to make a diagnosis. We're going to review some of those things today in terms of what you might find microscopically in your own urine or in somebody else's. Let's imagine that you take some urine, you put it under the microscope, and you see this. These types of crystals can actually come from kidney stones that are called, wait for it, cysteine kidney stones. And you can see here that they have 6 sides to them. Specifically, it's spelled Cystine. So what are cysteine crystals? It's actually a combination of cysteine, the amino acid, times 2. So if we can draw that out here, an amino acid looks like this, and it would have an H at the end of it. But what happens is that there's actually a disulfide bond that connects it to another S, and basically you have a very similar looking compound on the other side. And so this disulfide bond, which is unique to cysteine and methionine, the 2 sulfur-containing amino acids, can form this type of a structure. So why would somebody get this? Well, it can be familial. If you don't have the enzyme that takes care of this situation, you could get an elevation in cysteine in the urine, and it would precipitate and cause stones. Now, these type of stones don't show up on x-rays. They're what's known as radiolucent stones, as opposed to calcium stones. Could be, instead of having the familial disease where you can't break this down and you have to excrete it quite a bit, is the possibility that you're just having too much cysteine in your diet, and that's typically seen in animal proteins, although it can be seen in plant proteins as well. So the thing here to look for that is specific is the 6-sided cysteine crystals. So if you see 6-sided crystals, think of cysteine. That brings us to the next one here. You'll see this type of crystal occasionally in the urine. You also might see a crystal that looks very needle-shaped as well. These are 2 different ways that the same compound can present. Actually, this is under polarized light specifically, and it would be what they call negatively birefringent. We actually get into that in our urinalysis lecture series on medcram.com. What this is here is actually uric acid. Now, uric acid is the end product of metabolism of DNA, among other things. And so if you see the breakdown of products, specifically meat products, you'll see elevated uric acid levels that can actually precipitate gouty arthritis or gouty attacks. This type of oblong crystal, though, is very commonly seen associated with uric acid. And again, there are different ways of managing high levels of uric acid in the blood. You can try to excrete it more. You might see some of this precipitation occurring in the urine in people with high uric acid. You can also inhibit its production by using certain medications like allopurinol. What we're showing over here, as we alluded to, is that specifically under polarized light, it will have a yellow appearance. And we don't want to go into all of the details for the structure as to why that happens, but just be aware that that could happen if you're looking at the urine. So what we're looking at here is uric acid. The other place that you might see this is if somebody has a blood type of tumor. For instance, a lymphoma or a leukemia. And if you were to give them chemotherapy to kill off all those cancer cells all at the same time, there would be quite a release of the contents of those cells, which all of them have a very long DNA molecule. And again, those nucleotides, depending on the type of nucleotides that we're talking about, would be metabolized eventually into uric acid. So you can see very elevated uric acid levels after somebody with lymphoma, leukemia gets chemotherapy. So you have to be prepared for that. It's known as tumor lysis syndrome. It involves hydration and making sure that you're dealing with these uric acid metabolites that can lead to elevated uric acid levels. What's going on here? We see a number of crystals, and this is known as a triple phosphate crystal. Triple phosphate crystals are typically made out of magnesium, ammonium, and phosphate. And why is this? We see this quite a bit in chronic infections with people that have a bacteria called Proteus mirabilis. And the reason is because these organisms split the molecule known as urea, and causes a very alkaline environment around themselves. Something called urease is the enzyme that Proteus mirabilis has. It makes the pH directly around them to be actually quite high, more than you would expect in urine, which generally has a low pH. And that elevated pH level tends to cause these ions to precipitate. And you can see here that they almost look like coffin lids. In fact, that's the appearance that they often have. It almost looks like a big tidal wave swept through an above ground cemetery. And this is the result, kind of looking at the mayhem afterwards. All of these coffin lids in this patient typically is going to mean that you've got a Proteus mirabilis type of infection, but it doesn't have to be that. The thing about this is that typically the bacteria are going to be embedded into these crystals and into these stones that form as a result. And so you really have to get rid of these stones and dissolve them if you want to get rid of the chronic Proteus infections that you're dealing with in these patients. If you see these coffin lids, think of urinary tract infection, think of Proteus mirabilis. And finally, this crystal right here kind of looks like rooftops from homes or looking down directly on the Great Pyramid in Egypt. These sometimes appear in normal subjects, and sometimes in the classical diseases that cause these things to happen, you might not see it. So in other words, I don't want you to put too much weight on either their appearance or their lack of, because it's neither sensitive nor specific, but there are a few things where it's classic and it may confirm a diagnosis. So these are known as calcium oxalate crystals. They're known to have a Maltese cross kind of configuration on a square crystal. And classically, these crystals are associated with ethylene glycol. Glycol actually gets metabolized to oxalate, and then you form these calcium oxalate crystals. If you are suspicious of somebody trying to commit suicide and they drink ethylene glycol, which is essentially antifreeze, or there's something suspicious about the patient, and you go to their urine and you see calcium oxalate crystals, then you may want to initiate the plan for treating somebody with calcium oxalate crystal mediated ethylene glycol toxicity. And that means that you need to block the metabolism of ethylene glycol because the byproducts that come as a result are very toxic and can actually kill the patient if you are not careful. I would not withhold treatment, though, if you did not see those crystals. So just be aware of that. These calcium oxalate crystals can be helpful in some situations, and their absence may be not so helpful. Another way that they can appear is in this dumbbell-shaped pattern. Here you can see a calcium oxalate crystal that we were talking about before, looking down on a pyramid, but here's a mushroom-shaped calcium oxalate crystal. So what we talked about today is actually just a small portion of what we have in our urinalysis explained clearly course at medcram.com, which includes 3 CME credits, MOC points, and continuing education credit. You can see there that we've got 4.9 out of 5 stars from 189 reviews. This is a really good review of all things urinalysis for people that want to understand it better, for medical students, for people that are getting onto the wards or residents and they want to refresh their memory and be caught up so that they understand the results. It could also be for anyone who on their chart sees a urinalysis that they've done and they want to know more about all of those tests and what they mean. So this is a good way of understanding the results that you're getting back on your My Charts or your charts from your physician so you can understand a little bit more about your own healthcare. There are these and many more of these courses at medcram.com, and we invite you to come over and check us out. If you like this video, please subscribe, turn on notifications, leave us a note, and thanks again for joining us.